Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Movie Social. We're your hosts, Ricky and Steph.
What up, what up, what up?
Today, we're going to be doing a spoiler review of the new Hulu original series, Woke. You can check out our spoiler-free review just by clicking up in the upper right-hand corner. So, Woke is, as it states in the title, being woke about the racial issues going on in this world. And it stars I don't want to.
Cartoonist.
Yeah, I guess so.
He's a cartoonist.
It stars a cartoonist who's going about his life with no care in the world in the way of these racial issues. He doesn't see it that way, even though his cartoons themselves might be depicted as a racial tension, but he doesn't care for that until he's accosted and assaulted by cops who later on in the series basically tries to act like it wasn't a big deal, it wasn't no big thing that had happened, and that that stapler could have been used as a weapon. Mind you, he was stapling something to the wall, wasn't paying them no mind. He didn't even know cops were there, but they had guns drawn at him. Yeah, typical black situation. And this whole series takes place in San Fran. And one of the episodes that really stood out and was wild was when a koala bear escaped the zoo and it shut down most of the city searching for this koala bear. And him and his roommates are on this bus while he's trying to go to see his lawyer so he can try and win back the rights to his first artwork, Toast and Butter, that he's being told to cease and desist before they sue him and also give back his advance that they paid him for this, because he had a whole meltdown after the whole incident, and it was also blasted all over social media and everywhere. So this episode, they eventually shut the bus down, shut everything down, and they're trapped on this bus because of a sighting of the koala bear. And this whole time he's having a panic attack in a sense while being on this bus. He wants off. He's trying to open up the doors, can't get them open. He eventually, towards the end of the episode, escapes through the emergency hatch on the top of the bus. Hurts his foot though, getting down. But that's not even the kicker. So the kicker for this episode is somebody records them capturing the koala bear. Now, yes, the scene is wild in itself because of the statement that it makes. They wind up killing the koala bear when they're capturing it. And it's animal control. Let's just use the analogy here of what they're trying to represent. Black person being killed by a cop, unarmed. And so they take it and make it a big thing. They have a candlelight vigil, wanting justice for the bear, wanting all of the people involved to be fired. And then he's upset because it's like, you have a whole bunch of black people being treated this way by cops, and y'all not doing anything about it. And he eventually goes off during their candlelight vigil for the bear and writes curse words on top of their murals and all that, and starts breaking up the coffins and everything. And then somebody comes out of nowhere with a koala bear costume on and knocks him out. And he's like, at that point, yeah, I need to go see someone for help. But I mean, this whole series has a whole lot of references to racial issues, as it should, and it tries to paint it in a different way for other people to hopefully catch on and realize this is a major problem. And after he became woke, everything in his life changed. He left his girlfriend, starts to date a white woman on the show. They wound up breaking up because he tried to blackface her in one of his comics just to impress a black, well-known person in the art world who was hosting the event. But they still stayed friends, him and the girl, because he realized he needs to work on himself. He can't go from relationship to relationship. She's only been with people that have messed up her life, drug dealers and all this other stuff. And they're going to take a break, being both artists. The supporting cast is excellent in this series. His roommates. Alright, before I even go any further, I gotta split this before we wrap up. there's a scene where all three roommates, bring somebody back to the room, and they want to actually have the living room to themselves, and they do a it wasn't rock paper scissors shoot, but it's basically like that. I forget what it was called. They made it black in a way, and so he gets booted out to the hallway. One of the roommates gets the living room, and then the other one gets booted to the bedroom. And the one that gets booted to the bedroom is the white roommate of them all, and he's bringing back a Asian couple, male and female.
Yeah, that was
and he doesn't realize that it's supposed to be a threesome, that they wanted him for a threesome, but he's kind of nervous and scared, and then he eventually psychs himself up to do it, and then touches the man's privates, and the man backs up like, "What are you doing? I didn't want none of this." He's like, "Oh, I thought this is what you guys wanted. Well, isn't it supposed to be a threesome and all that?" And then the female's like, "Well, if he wants to touch it, let him touch it." And then he's like, "Okay, I'll let you touch it. Go ahead and touch it." And he's like, "I don't want to anymore. It doesn't feel right." Eventually, he winds up going back in the living room with them while they're having sex, and he's out there. I'm like, really? Yeah. We're going to go from you being in there in your own room to them?
Yeah, just let people have sex in your room. It's wild.
But at the end of it all, he does wind up finally coming to a conclusion of a cartoon piece that fits the narrative of what he's trying to get across now of racial issues. And he draws the cartoon of him being thrown down by the cop, puts the cop's name and all that in there, and now he gets sued by the officer, saying that he's slandering the officer's name, all because his son no longer thinks that he's a hero. I'm like, but you're not. And so they sit down to have a one-on-one, him and the cop, inside the bar to try and squash this with the media present on the outside. And the cop basically brushes this all off in a way, and he's not feeling it at all. And so he asks the cop, were you being forced to do this? Basically says, yeah. And so he starts trying to taunt the cop by flicking bear at him. And the cop's like, do this one more time, I'm going to have to arrest you. I'm like, you're off duty. It's not technically assaulting a police officer anymore, but, it is what it is. He does it one more time, goes to jail. But the episode does end for the series with him getting out of jail and walking out to a swarm of media who wants to know his side of everything because he's basically stood up to the police at this point. He didn't choose to use that conference for peace. And so I'm hoping this is season 2. You hear that, Hulu? It needs to be a season 2 for this because this was really good, entertaining. It had its comical moments, it's had its serious moments, and it definitely delivered a message. All in all, what did you guys think of Woke? Let us know in the comments below. Did you have anything that stood out? Did you not like it?